What if I told you your mind was tricking you? When we feel a certain way, our brain stops us from feeling and behaving in a much better way. When we feel down, our mind tricks us into doing the very things that make us feel worse. And once you realize this and overcome it, you can feel a lot better and cope with your mental health in a much healthier way. Hello, and welcome back to your favorite mental health advice / awareness and travel channel. I hope everyone's doing absolutely splendid today. Back again with another little mental health advice video. If you want any more, make sure to check out the rest of them on my channel. There's quite a lot now. Have you ever felt down and wanted to wallow in self-pity and not do anything that can make you happy? Ever felt lonely and hesitated reaching out to people like I am doing right now? Ever felt anxious and I think you get the point. What I'm trying to emphasize is that often emotions that we feel, especially negative ones, try to push us to act in a way to avoid that negative feeling. When we're anxious, we avoid the anxiety-provoking stimuli. When we're sad, we avoid doing things that could make us happy. The list goes on. And that is the issue with feelings like this, that often it can lead to a very negative spiral, where our emotions are leading us to behave in a way that's making us feel a lot worse. And until you make an effort to hop out of this psychological spiral, it doesn't always get better. And hopping out of this spiral is no easy task. It often takes bravery and uncomfortableness. Is that a word? I don't know if uncomfortableness is a word, but it's not easy. And I just want to state now that I am talking about your day-to-day habitual patterns that maybe make it worse. I'm not talking about serious mental health disorders that should not be solved with a YouTube video. So as I said, we often act in a way to make ourselves feel better. We self-soothe, because confronting our anxieties is an uncomfortable process and we don't always want to experience that uncomfortable anxiety. Therefore, we try and make ourselves feel better. But in fact, this can make things a lot worse in the long run. It can make things worse in the long run because if we don't have the ability to fight through our negative emotions and deal with them in a healthy and productive way, then in the future this can really cause some problems. This is why shielding children from any anxiety-provoking stimuli or letting them self-soothe whenever they feel bad is not necessarily a good thing. We're not giving them the tools to deal with their own mental health. But that's another topic. But also part of this experience is learning what's good for us. Sometimes taking a break is the perfect solution, and it's exactly what you need. But sometimes the most difficult thing may be the healthiest for us. Taking a break is easy, and yes, necessary at times, but not always. Sometimes you need to push through the anxiety you are experiencing to come out stronger and better on the other side. All too often I've been in a terrible mood and wanted to stay that way. I've whacked on a sad playlist. I've imagined who would cry at my funeral. Is that just me? But because I've tried to make myself happy, I've gone outside, I've met with people, I've done something fun, or I've been chasing a goal, I haven't been able to stay in this bad mood. And all this comes from learning about ourselves, putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations so we know how we cope with it, and then reflecting upon that in the future. It's a tough skill to have, and it requires bravery again, and uncomfortableness again. It may still not be a word. When I go to Spain or when I go to America, I'm putting myself in an uncomfortable situation so I can learn how I adapt and how I react to these uncomfortable stimuli or uncomfortable feelings. I've learned so much about myself by making myself uncomfortable. Going to Spain on your own without speaking the language is definitely not the most comfortable experience. But because of this, I've learned so much. So facing those anxieties, overcoming that sadness that may just keep you home for a day or two, can benefit you in such a great way. And as I said before, sometimes a break is necessary. And this is why you've got to try different things when you're sad. It's exactly like learning, but you're learning about yourself rather than some module content from university. You've got to try different ways. You've got to figure out how you learn. Often when our mind is tricking us, rationally, we know what the truth is. We know how the world it is. But we try and perceive everything around us in a way that validates how we feel, which is why everything seems so negative when one bad thing is happening in your life. And it's hard to pick the side of rationality if we are feeling bad. We're emotional creatures, and that's okay. But recently I've really been trying to be honest with myself, view things in more of an objective way and maybe more of an optimistic way. When I'm feeling down about being back home or not being able to do anything because I'm isolating right now, I'm trying to look at the positives, the future and what it can hold. So I encourage you, next time you are feeling down, have an honest reflection. Look at the good things and the bad things going on in your life and weigh them up. And even if there is more bad things, look at the future, look at the potential good things that can come into your life or how you can get to that stage. But always be aware that your mind does trick you. It changes your perception based off your mood. So whatever is happening around you, it's never the objective truth. We always have biases, we always have different perceptions. There is nothing wrong with being down sometimes. There's nothing wrong with wallowing in self-pity in your bed listening to sad music. But there is also nothing wrong with trying to cheer yourself up. So just be aware that this is always an option and your mind is tricking you, okay? Get that in your head. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you soon with more amazing advice, awareness, travel videos. Alright, bye bye.